Welcome to the First Look seminar for Saturday. And Gino Bacola, we were so close to having a double pick six carryover, but one of three horses got it done in the last race. Otherwise, we had a giant one going into Saturday's card, Gino.
Yeah, but don't worry. We'll still be focusing in on the late pick five sequence, a really strong sequence there. Don't forget, they have the coast to coast pick five still rolling along. If that's something that you want to play, you can always look at the schedule at santanita.com. I think for Saturday, races 9 at Gulfstream is where it starts. And then there's 5, 7, and 8 from Santa Anita. So a couple of the races we'll be talking about here. There's also a handicapping contest you want to take a look at, a big one. If you're someone who's like us that's playing the races every day, you always want to check in what they've got going on at Express Bet, because tomorrow's another one of those big ones. For $500 in the Santa Anita Challenge, you could win NHC seats. So that's a big thing going on. There's a Preakness future wager. We're all thinking about the Derby, but they're already giving us chances to bet on the Preakness, Chappie. So a lot of opportunities to fire away tomorrow.
No doubt. And I know you guys did a pick six preview yesterday, and joining us from Equine Edge once again, our man Oldie. What's going on, Oldie? How you doing, my friend?
Doing great, Chappie. Thank you for having me. Go Cubs. Another big victory today. Wind blowing in 4-0. So not a bad day, other than not being able to hit the pick six at Santa Anita today.
Yeah, not to rub it into Gino, but it is amazing that the Cubs and Dodgers, they're done playing each other for the rest of the year. But the Cubs actually won the season series, which is incredible.
The Dodgers don't want to play the Cubs. That's one thing, I tell you.
Yeah, and we saved the best for last because he has no voice, but the Kings are up 2-0, and thank God they pulled out game one, or I don't know if we would have seen Seminar Skip, but welcome on, buddy. How's the voice doing?
The voice is a little rough, as you can hear. Yeah, it's playoffs. Playoffs are dangerous, and it's every other night. But luckily, the Kings held on in game one and won game two rather convincingly, and they play game three at 7 o'clock tonight. I can't wait to watch it, going back to Edmonton. So we'll see where we're at later tonight. But I'm excited. We're going to the Derby. It's a week out. Santa Anita's got a great card tomorrow that we're going to go over. So let's get to it and make some money for the Derby.
Little seed money. Skip and I are heading to Louisville next week, as you know, of course. So I'm sure Gino and the boys will hold down the fort next Friday, as we will be in the midst of Derby fever. All right, gentlemen, let's kick off this late pick five. And Gino, what a race 7, the grade 3 Royal Heroine, to start this sequence off in. Wow, a field of 13. And what's the Luke? Well, I guess Trupati is 2-1 on the morning line, but the talent runs deep here, Gino.
Yep.
What are your thoughts here in the first leg of this pick five?
I absolutely love a horse in here. And I think this is a race that a lot of people are going to spread out. So I like having an opinion in a race like this. I honestly think you can make cases for many, but the 2, Raw Ability, has some serious raw ability. Like, this horse was named for the talent. If you watch all 3 of this filly's races, her debut was back in Ireland, and she was a step slow. Then she got all the way up to like 3rd, was tracking nicely, just really traveling well. What I've been really impressed by is each of her races have been followed by layoffs. So she's won off the bench in her last couple. So impressive on September 2nd when coming to Del Mar. Step slow. She's last of 10. Still last early in the stretch. They tipped her to the outside, and she just inhaled the field quickly as soon as she was asked for run. And then most recently, it was the first time in her career she actually broke well. And then she was just right there off the lead, just sitting full of run. It looked like there was a horse that was going to loom up and challenge her in that last race. And the same thing, like when they ask her for run and they just like flip the switch for her, she explodes. I'm going to single her right off the bat. I think this race, a lot of people are going to be using 4, 5, 6 horses. And I would throw in others if I didn't think she was so talented. Like the 1 makes some sense. Chirapati's in really good form right now. I think to the outside, you have a couple wild cards. A horse like the 11, Hamwood Flyer, has serious back class, but no idea what to expect from that horse with the most recent races kind of looking lackluster. I'm going to really key in on the 2, Raw Ability. Second start off the bench, down on the inside, saves ground. I think this horse is really talented.
Well, Gino, before I get to the other 2, I have not been doing well the past month or so. I couldn't agree with you more. I love this horse. I put Freaky Good and circled that. I think she has, like you said, fits the name. Both races were so impressive. The turn of foot, wow, and the upside, wow. So I am singling her as well. Oldie, what say you?
So I love her as well, but I'm going to say I can see a couple ways she gets beaten here, either on the front end by Tripati, or if she's too close to that pace, possibly by the 4, Uncorked, the Aussie horse for D'Amato with Mike Smith aboard. And, you know, that horse has serious back class as well, having run in the Gamely, which was a grade 1, and a bunch of grade 2s. This is definitely some class relief here for that horse. So I'm going to go a little differently, not single to open here, and go 2-6-4 to open.
All right. 2-6-4 for Oldie. Skip, Gino and I are all about the 2 raw ability. There does look like there is a ton of speed in here. And what are your thoughts about this race?
You know, I'm going too deep in here. I like the 2 an awful lot also, right along with you guys. I saw everything that you guys saw. I love the turn of foot. I love Hector Barrios. This horse looks really good. It looks like there's a lot of speed signed up here. You know, Hamwood Flyer worked real good the other day, but this horse, I don't know. It's almost like a Morning Glory. This horse always seems to work good. Now they switched the trainer over to Peter Urton. That horse has to go to the front. Sneaker's got to go to the front. I just think it's going to set up perfectly for raw ability. I got to use the 6 also, Turapati. This horse is sharp. This horse has shown that it can sit off the pace. So I'm only going to go 2 and 6 in here, and I don't need to go over anymore because you guys said the rest of it for me.
2-6 and 2-4-6 and the 2. So look, maybe a little formful here, but it's going to be interesting. Gino and I are shoving all in leg 1. We'll see what happens. All right, Oldie, we're going to leg 2, and that would be the 8th race at Santa Anita, 6 furlongs on the main. What are your thoughts here in leg 2?
I thought this was the most wide open race in the sequence. I'm spreading here, even though I do think that the 10 Champagne Tammy could, win at a low price here. There are other horses here that profile to be similar, but at a better price. For instance, the 6 Discrepancy, who's 8-1 on the morning line, 14% on our win line, goes first time to Peter Miller and beat a similar group last time out, or 2 times back, from a tactical position here going 6 furlongs at Santa Anita. Beyond that, I could give you the rest of my list. I don't want to steal everybody's horses here if you guys are spreading too, but let me say that the one that I think could blow up the board a little bit here would be Seize the Image, the 3 horse, who won last time out going 6 furlongs against what we have as a similar strength of race and also at this level, and has shown the ability to both rate and be on the lead. So I think that's another potential price there.
All right, so Oldie's spreading and making some case for some prices there. Skipper, what are your thoughts here?
I'm going to do the same. I'm going to use a couple in here. Actually, more than a couple. I'm going to use the 2 Lady Sermon. I'm going to use the 4 Twilight Empire. I'm going to use the 6 Discrepancy. And I'm going to use the 10. I'm going 4 deep in here.
All right, so 2, 4, 6, 10. Skip is saving the voice for end coughing.
He only has so much left there, right?
Yeah,
only in the tank. All you got, right?
I'm trying, guys. I'm trying.
No, you look, take some hauls or whatever. You just make your case. When you have a single, you can talk a little bit more. Yeah,
I learned a trick for you, Skip, and this will help because it's something I have to talk a lot, do a lot of videos and stuff like this. I learned this doing the musicals when I was in theater in high school. Little Mucinex, and it coats the throat for you when you're right there. It just keeps that throat nice and lubricated. So yeah, I got it right by me all the time there. It's a helper for me.
Okay, I'm gonna go get some after the show.
Of course, he's got it right on hand.
I do. Right next, You can get it right there. Like I should get my my sponsor money for Mucinex selling it for
I
you.
love it. I love it. So Gino, that was short but sweet for Skipper, but we know what he's using, 24610.
Yep.
What are your thoughts here?
The only I'll mention one that I don't think's been mentioned yet. Maybe the 9 Ufta. I'm not sure if Oldie had mentioned Ufta, but I'm going to be 4, 9, and 10. I think the 10's the horse to beat. The 4, I think you can be a little forgiving for Twilight Empire last time in that race behind Seize the Image. Seize the Image was able to get front, to get loose. I don't know if that's going to be the case in this race because you have Woodbine Way, who's pretty quick in there. At least we'll be pushing that one. And then towards the outside, I think you may have 1 or 2 others with horses like Ufta and even Champagne Cami all kind of sitting close and putting a little pressure there. So I'm going to use 4, 9, and 10. I think the 4, there are versions of this race where the 4 gets a nice trip to set off the pace.
Real quick, Oldie, because you said you were spreading, you don't want to steal any thunder. Anybody we missed of that group that we did not mention?
All right. So I believe you did not mention Twilight Empire, the 4 horse, beat similar 2 back, can definitely come from off the pace, as well as the 8, who's the Scotty Longshot, just is, who is more of a ran at Los Al, came back second off the layoff here, could look to improve. You're getting 6-1 there as well. Like I said, the wide open race. So I'm 10, 9, 6, 4, 8, 3. When I said spread, really spread.
We did not mention the 8. I know Skip, the man of few words, did mention the 4 there. But obviously we're all spreading in what looks like to be a difficult leg and leg 2. All right, Skipper, in 6 words or less, who do you like in race 9, which is going a mile on the turf, Calbreds here?
I'm going to use the 1 for sure with Hector Barrios. George Papapadromo claimed this horse last time. This horse likes to win. It doesn't have a win on the turf course, but it does have a 2nd place finish. This horse has been hot at the claim box. It's been claimed 3 times out of the last 6 races, it looks like. I love that George claimed it. He does very good first off the claim, and I love Hector Barrios, the best grass rider, jumping aboard. So the 1's going to be on my ticket. Another one I'm going to use is Jimmy Blue Jeans. I think this horse will get a good trip for Jeff Mullins, dropping down in class, also likes to win. So I'm going 1 and 7 in here.
All right, 1 and 7 for Skip. Gino, what are your thoughts here in race 9?
A couple others I'll mention. I like the 2 a little bit, Kanani. I think the races going long on the turf are really good. Look at the 2 races going long on the grass. In those races, he's able to just sit a little bit closer, and I think he could get a really nice trip, saving all the ground down on the inside. If you look at him, he doesn't look quite as fast or as good maybe right now as others on speed figures, but the trip is where horses like that can be the equalizer, right? Can he save all the ground down on the inside and not have to worry about a troubled trip, get the jump on some of the deeper runners in here? 2's in the mix for me. The 5 Brazenly is in the mix for me. Just one for the last 18, but fits really well with this group, right? This might be the type of group where it could be 2 for the last 19 for this guy. Jimmy Blue Jeans also in the mix. And then towards the outside, I thought the last effort from the 9 Rodrigo Knows was inside third, a couple lengths off, moved down inside. Now the cutback should help a little bit. So those will be the combination of horses for me. 2, 5, 7, and 9. You know about that 9 horse, Chappie?
No, why?
Well, because only Rodrigo knows.
Oh,
Da-dunch.
Well done. And all right, 2, 5, 7, 9. Best of luck to the owner of the 5, one of our friends, Radar Rob, who has the best laugh in racing. Any thoughts here that we haven't given out thus far, Oldie?
Well, I'll just say, as much as I want to be on the Pink Panther horse, Cluso, I am singling Jimmy Blue Jeans here on the class drop with the pace. And that's where I want to hang my hat, so to speak.
All right. So Oldie with the single here, Jimmy Blue Jeans at 9 to 5 for that man, Jeff Mullins and Juan Hernandez. All right. Gino, back to you. Let's go on to race 10. That's a mile on the dirt, $16,000 beaten claimers. What are your thoughts here in a full field of 10?
Yeah, one horse that's maybe a little interesting that may not be on everybody's tickets. The 6 White Mountain. I'll definitely be using this horse. Just fits at the lower levels, right? I think where they started in the career, probably facing just a little bit too tough, was facing maiden special weights. Following that, was off from September of 2023 to March of 2025. So we're talking about a year layoff, a year and a half layoff. Coming off that, after that, needed the race in March when it shows back up. And then just a few weeks later, was able to break the maiden, sat a really nice trip. That was an improved performance. That was going a mile on the dirt. The only time this horse has gone long on the dirt. 6 is in the mix for me. The 2 Valentine's Candy, pretty logical. Just again, another one getting class relief, who's been facing a lot better recently. And then towards the outside, Asmodeus, the 10. Those will probably be the 3 for me. I'm taking a couple horses who are getting major class relief. And then another horse who kind of took the drop already and sort of found a level that I think fits pretty well for him. So those will be the 3 that I'll be using: 2, 6, and 10.
2, 6, and 10, like Gino said, the 2 taking a giant drop in class here. Oldie, what are your thoughts here in the 10th race?
So I'm with Gino on the 10, who I wanted so badly to be Amadeus, but it's not. This horse looks like it has a pace advantage. We have it moving back to the dirt with a big jump in our GSR breeding number, telling us that that's the surface it wants to be on, off of the synthetic, where it didn't run a single lick, and you could just see it didn't want to be there for Peter Miller. But I'm going to go a little different there, and I'm going to be on the 3 for Steve Knapp there. Seems to have found a level against similar. I think we'll run a better race here. Is Scotty Longshot here, Pete's Old Fashioned. And then the 4 Battle Cruiser, who is our second pick there, and, is a little bit tactical. That none of these horses love to win, but Sadler's been running pretty well. And, I think this horse might have a big chance there. It increases in win percentage as well for us, which is usually an indication that a horse is going to run better.
Skipper, I thought this was a really tough race. Some of these droppers and everything like this. What any of your thoughts here? I thought this was a spread to me.
I'll mention a couple that they did not. And the 7 is definitely going to be on my ticket. Mighty Kai. This horse comes off a little break for Victor Garcia, drops down in class, and I love the blinkers off move. And Victor, he does really good with turf to dirt. They win 20% of the time. I thought with the drop in class, the blinkers off, I got to use the 7. The other one I'm going to mention is the 8. Can you hear me knocking? Dan Blacker has been on fire all year. This horse ran really good last time for maiden 32, won by 3 3/4 going away. They gave it a little time after that. The thing that I'm a little concerned about, the workout pattern's a little spotty. March 8th, March 16th, then there's a break. It looks like it might have missed a work or two. That doesn't work till April 6th, but I did like its last win. So those are 2 that I'm going to be on my ticket, along with the 10, the 6, and the 2.
All right, so 7, 8, 10, 6, 2, is that correct?
Yes.
7, 8, 10, 6, 2. Okay. So we move on to the last leg, Skip. I'm going to come back to you. This is a very interesting race. Another huge field with 14 drawn in, with a couple also eligibles. 6 furlongs on the turf, maiden special weights, Calbreds. What are your thoughts here in another big field, another competitive race?
I watched the workouts on a lot of these. I'm going to use a couple of the first-time starters. I wasn't real impressed with the horses that have run. I will use Big City Miss. Michael McCarthy's got this horse. He got Flavian Practoride first time, going long. Now he shortens up. He goes route to sprint. He does good, 23%. Maiden second start, 14. JJ Hernandez jumps the board. So Big City Miss has got to be on my ticket. But the first timers that I'm going to use the 2 religiously. I like the way that it worked back on the 16th. This horse, Dad's Caps, wins 16% with its first-time starters. This horse, the Dam, produced 2 winners from 4 foals to race. Foals to race with Organic being one. Organic was a good Barton thoroughbred horse. Another one I'm going to use is Tis Sunrise for Pipey. I like the way that this horse worked back on the 31st. I know it was a while back. The workout pattern looks a little bit spotty after that work. It didn't work again until March 23rd, but then it was March 30th, April 6th, April 13th, April 20th. At 20-1, that horse has got to be on my ticket. The 7 French Moonlight's another one that I like the way this one was working. I know Leonard Powell doesn't usually win first time out, but this horse, the dam, has produced 4 winners from full foals to race, with Count Felicia being one of them, a real nice one. That horse is going to be on my ticket also. And then I'm going to mention one other one, and that's going to be the 11 Miss Mrazek. I got to use that one too. So 2, 6, or 2, 3, 6, 7, and 11 for me.
All right, so Spreadsville in the last here. Gino, what are your thoughts in race 11 in Santa Anita?
Yeah, lots of similarities. The 3's in the mix for me. You get the big cutback for this horse from 6. You get from 1 mile and 1/8 to 6 furlongs. The 7. I'm glad Skip mentioned that horse, French Moonlight. Horse's dam one going long on the turf in France in the debut, so showed precocity, showed the ability to win on turf. He mentioned Full Count Felicia. That's a Grade 1 winner. There's also another horse named Random Honest, who's 2 for 3, really talented runner. So there's some good blood in this horse. And you can also see the workouts. Not the most recent couple aren't on there, but some of the older ones are up on First Live and First.tv, and you can see they're really, really solid. Like, this horse has ability. And Powell's one of those barns where sometimes he'll have numbers for certain things that don't quite look as good. But just knowing him as a trainer, like, if they have the right horse, I'm not worried about them getting a horse ready off the long layoff or with the first-time starter or any of those situations where the stats might kind of be up against them. The 11, Miss Mrazek, all 6 siblings won on the turf for this one. So there's a lot of pedigree there with the grass, and the horse ran really well in the debut on the grass. Only one that Skip didn't mention, the 10, Have Patience, on the cutback. Look at that race going 6 furlongs on the turf a few starts back, beating just a nose that day, was right there. So yeah, 3, 7, 10, and 11 for me to close it out.
All right, so a little bit of spread, and we got some prices here, Oldie, once again, which looks like it'll be a very tough pick 5 sequence here. What are your thoughts in the last leg, Oldie?
I'm mostly using completely different horses than here. So, the 3 and the 10 are the 2 that have been mentioned that I'll be using. But I think that the 9 at 10-1, 5-1 on our morning line, moving to Mullins there. He's not great first time with a horse, but this horse has been knocking on the door against kind of a better group of maiden special weight horses here on the turf when in the Gaines barn. I like the move to Mullins. I think Mullins might get this horse over the top. This horse has shown the ability to sit a little bit at 6 furlongs. I think that we'll probably get a preferred good outside trip here. And I think that this horse at a price could end the pick 5 and pick 6 sequence tomorrow.
All right, so go ahead, Oldie.
Then beyond that, I'm also using the Blacker second-time starter, Gaddafi, with Frazier aboard. 6-1 on the morning line. We have it as a 20% to win on this horse. I like the work pattern coming back here. I like the move to turf first time off the layoff as well. I think the horse breaks better, shows a little more speed, and will also have a big shot there. Showed the ability to rate and really did not break well first time out. So I think this horse has all the reason to improve here at 6-1. And then I'll give you one other, the 8 horse here, Sassafran, for Gary Mandela, Kyle Frey aboard, who's an excellent turf rider, shortening up to 6 furlongs from the mile distance. I like the little bit of the layoff and the shorten up there as well. And, this horse has a huge work on March 30th that makes me think that this horse could be sitting on a big race and could just be working maintenance work since then.
All right, so quite the opinions. Looks like a good sequence, Gino, and plenty to look forward to leading into next weekend for the Kentucky Derby. Gino, lead us home here with everything happening this weekend.
Yeah, they actually draw the races, the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby tomorrow night during the Saturday night racing card at Churchill Downs. The Derby will be drawn between the 5th and the 6th race. So by the time that late pick 5 starts on Saturday night at Churchill, we'll already know the fields for sure for the Oaks, for the Derby. I think by the end of Saturday night, the past performances will be out for both of those days. DRF has big packages, shop.drf.com, where you can get clocker reports and betting strategies, plus the past performances, all the help that you need for the big day. Santa Anita, make sure you just go to the website and check out everything they've got going on there, what the coast-to-coast pick 5 races are each and every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That thing is going to continue along. And Chappie, I'll probably be dropping by to say hello to you tomorrow, because I'll be joining Tom Quigley in the guest for the preview of the race card tomorrow at Santa Anita on Saturday. So looking forward to that. Always enjoy talking with TQ over there.
Very nice. And look forward to seeing you. 11 races tomorrow, 11 races on Sunday. Gino, I will see you out here on Sunday. There's going to be, I can't leave a hint, but there's going to be a little bit of star power out here on Sunday. If anybody joins races live, you will see some celebrities out here. That's all I can say. But it will be early in the day, and I'll leave it at that. Anyways, gentlemen, you guys hold down the fort next week, because Skip and I are heading to Louisville. Skip, save your voice. Join us tomorrow morning on the Morning Line Sports Show. Minty Betts will be in studio with us. For Gino, Oldie, and the mute, Skipperino, thanks, everybody. We will see you in 2 weeks. They'll see you next week. Good luck, everybody. Everyone.